Chosen one. Be still for a moment, not just on the outside, but deep within your spirit. You did not arrive here by accident, and you did not press play by chance. This moment has been scheduled by heaven, aligned by divine timing, and released at the exact point your soul was ready to hear it. Anointed One. What you are sensing right now is not imagination. It is recognition. God is not whispering anymore. He is declaring. Chosen One. The silence that covered your waiting season has been broken. You were never forgotten, never ignored, never pushed aside. You were preserved, hidden, and protected for this very hour. As it is written, the one who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You were not delayed, you were developed. You were not dismissed, you were destined. And now the appointed time has arrived. Anointed One. What is stirring in your chest is not emotion, it is movement, holy movement, divine motion. Heaven has been aligning people, places, and timing not just around you, but for you. You are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift, a sudden elevation, a heaven-orchestrated transfer that will change everything. Chosen One. This is not just about entering a new season, it is about encountering what God already wrote into your story long before you knew you were in one. Prepare your heart. What comes next will confirm everything. Chosen One, hear this clearly and let it settle deep into your spirit. This time, you are not walking alone. And I don't say that lightly because I know what the lonely nights felt like. I know what it was like to sit in silence after doing everything right and still wondering if heaven heard you. But someone is being sent now, not to entertain your emptiness, not to distract you from your calling, but to witness your anointing and to walk with you in purpose. This is not about easing an ache. This is about fulfilling obedience. There were stretches where obedience felt costly. Nights when you chose restraint while others chose comfort. Moments when you stayed still while everything in you wanted to run ahead. And maybe no one clapped for that. Maybe no one even noticed. But heaven noticed. Every silent prayer, every decision made in the dark, every tear wiped away before morning, none of it was wasted. Heaven heard you when it felt quiet. Heaven recorded what people overlooked. Chosen One. What is unfolding now is not random affection or emotional coincidence. It is response. A response to prayers you whispered when you weren't even sure how to word them. A response to the vow you made to God when you said, "I'd rather wait in truth than rush into something counterfeit." This is not just love approaching you, it is revelation arriving in human form. Something God spoke in hidden places is beginning to take shape where you can see it. And listen closely because this is important. When this alignment comes, it will not feel chaotic. It will not feel confusing or dramatic. It will not pull you into emotional turbulence. It will feel like peace, a kind of peace that quiets your mind instead of stimulating your anxiety. A calm that settles your chest instead of accelerating your heartbeat. You will not feel the need to impress, perform, or prove. You will feel confirmed. I remember a season in my own life when I thought intensity was love and confusion was chemistry. I thought the constant highs and lows meant something was real. But what I learned through time, prayer, and painful refinement is this: what God sends does not demand striving, it rests. What heaven aligns does not require force, it flows. And what is truly from God does not steal your peace to get your attention. It arrives with peace as its signature. Chosen One, when this connection manifests, you will know. Not because your mind analyzes it, but because your spirit agrees with it before your thoughts catch up. Something in you will say yes, quietly, firmly, without panic. You won't feel rushed. You won't feel behind. You won't feel like you're about to lose something if you don't act fast. You will feel anchored. And if something is stirring in you right now as you hear this, if your spirit feels alert, almost like it just stood up and leaned forward, that is not imagination. That is recognition. This word is not floating around hoping to land on someone. It found you. Heaven is announcing that you are next, and not next in line for chaos, but next in alignment. Chosen one. I want to speak to you not just prophetically, but personally. There was a time I thought waiting meant being forgotten. I thought delay was rejection dressed up in spirituality. But looking back now, I can see that waiting was protection. It was construction. God was building capacity in places I didn't even know needed strengthening. He was teaching me how to be whole before asking me to walk with someone else. And that is what he has been doing with you. Your waiting season was not empty. It was intentional. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. God was shaping you into someone who could carry partnership without losing identity, love without losing calling, and connection without compromise. The one coming toward you is not arriving to save you. You are not broken. You are not half. You are whole. This person is not your missing piece. They are your answered prayer. They are not coming to fill a void, but to honor a vow you already made to God when no one else was listening. A vow to stay true. A vow to stay clean in your spirit. A vow to wait for alignment, not just attraction. Think about how many times you said no when it would have been easier to say yes. Think about how many moments you chose obedience over relief. Were you being denied, or were you being aligned? The boundaries you kept, the stillness you honored, the discipline you practiced, those were not signs of delay. They were signs of positioning. Chosen. One God does not reserve people for nothing. He does not refine vessels without intention. What is coming is not ordinary because you are not ordinary, and this next chapter will not require you to abandon who you are. It will require you to stand fully in it. So take a breath. Let the urgency settle into peace. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on divine schedule, and this is only the beginning of what is being revealed. Chosen one. There is something you must understand before this next phase unfolds, because without discernment, even blessings can be misunderstood. What God is doing now is not sudden in heaven, even if it feels sudden on earth. This moment has been forming quietly, patiently, deliberately, while you were asking why, heaven was answering when. While you were questioning timing, God was shaping capacity. You were not just being kept from the wrong people, you were being preserved for the right alignment. There were seasons when it felt like everyone else was moving forward while you were standing still. Friends entered relationships, others built lives, families, success stories, and you stayed put, watching, waiting, sometimes smiling on the outside while wrestling questions on the inside. But chosen one, stillness does not mean stagnation. Silence does not mean absence. In Scripture, some of the most important transitions happened in hidden places, not public ones. God often does his deepest work away from applause. What you experienced was not isolation for punishment, but separation for preparation. God was teaching you how to hear without noise, how to trust without proof, how to remain faithful without reassurance. And those lessons matter now, because what is coming into your life requires maturity, not desperation. It requires discernment, not impulse. It requires someone who knows how to recognize peace when it arrives, instead of mistaking chaos for passion. Chosen one. The one being sent toward you is not arriving untested. Just as you were refined, so were they. They did not bypass the fire, they walked through it. They carry scars not as weakness, but as wisdom. Their stability was forged, not given. Their clarity was earned through surrender, not convenience. This is important, so hear it slowly. God does not unite two people to heal each other's wounds. He unites two people who have allowed him to heal them individually. Otherwise, pain becomes the bond instead of purpose. But that is not what this is. This is alignment between two healed directions, not two open wounds. You may notice something unusual when this connection begins to form. There will be familiarity without history, safety without explanation, respect without demand. It will not feel rushed yet, it will feel intentional. And that can be confusing at first, especially if your past experiences trained you to associate intensity with meaning. But intensity fades, peace remains. Chosen one, what God sends does not drain you, it strengthens you. It does not compete with your calling, it covers it. It does not pull you away from purpose, it pushes you deeper into it. You will not have to shrink to be loved. You will not have to negotiate your obedience to maintain connection. This person will not see your devotion to God as a threat. They will recognize it as your foundation. And let me speak plainly here, because this is where many people miss what God is doing. The enemy does not always attack with obvious destruction. Sometimes he attacks with almost right options. Connections that look good, feel good, and even sound spiritual, but quietly pull you off alignment. That is why your waiting mattered. God was sharpening your discernment so you could feel the difference between excitement and peace. Peace will be the proof. Chosen one, you will not need a sign in the sky to confirm this alignment. You will not need to chase validation from others. Your spirit will know, and knowing will feel calm, not frantic, steady, not shaky, secure, not uncertain. You may find yourself changing even before this person appears. Your desires are shifting. Your tolerance for shallow conversations is decreasing. Your appetite for noise is fading. You are becoming more selective with your time, your energy, your attention. That is not pride. That is preparation. God is adjusting your frequency so you can recognize what matches it. Do not resist that process. There may also be moments now where old memories try to resurface. Old disappointments, old names, old patterns knocking at the door of your mind. This is not regression, this is confirmation. Before a new door opens, old doors often rattle, trying to remind you of familiarity. But chosen one, familiarity is not the same as safety, and what is familiar is not always what is aligned. You have outgrown certain cycles, you have healed past certain thresholds, and what you tolerated before, you will no longer be able to entertain now without feeling the dissonance. That discomfort is not rejection, it is direction. God is teaching you how to honor what He has already healed. Chosen one, there is also a financial and practical dimension to this alignment that many people overlook. What is coming is not just emotional partnership, it is functional partnership. Purpose-driven alignment often unlocks provision, clarity, and momentum. When two people walk in obedience together, doors open differently. Opportunities expand, resources flow with less resistance. This is not about chasing wealth, it is about stewarding assignment. Heaven-backed alignment brings heaven-backed provision. You will notice that when things begin to line up, they will do so with surprising ease. Not without effort, but without friction. Things that once felt blocked will begin to move. Conversations will open. Ideas will gain traction. Support will come from unexpected places. This is not coincidence. This is coordination. Chosen one. God is not just shifting your relationship status. He is shifting your capacity to carry influence, responsibility, and impact. That is why He took His time. That is why He insisted on the process. You are being prepared not just to receive, but to sustain. So do not rush ahead of God, and do not doubt Him now. What is coming will not arrive loudly, but it will arrive clearly. It will not overwhelm you, but it will anchor you. And when it does, you will look back at the waiting season and realize it was not wasted time. It was sacred ground. Stay open, stay prayerful, stay aligned, because what God is bringing together will not need to be forced. It will simply need to be recognized. Chosen one, as this alignment draws closer, there is a deeper layer God wants you to understand, because what is coming is not only relational, it is transformational. This next connection is not meant to add something small to your life. It is meant to shift the direction of your future. And before that happens externally, it must be settled internally. You are being prepared to recognize value without idolizing it. In past seasons, you may have mistaken admiration for connection or attention for alignment. Many of us were taught directly or indirectly that being chosen meant being pursued, desired, or validated. But heaven's definition of being chosen is different. Being chosen means being trusted, trusted with responsibility, trusted with influence, trusted with stewardship, and that is why this season feels weighty. Chosen, one, God is not sending someone to rescue you from your life. He is sending someone who can walk beside you in it without destabilizing it. That requires two people who are grounded, not grasping. Two people who know how to stand alone before standing together. That is why the process has been slow. There were moments when you wanted answers more than growth, relief more than refinement. But God, in His mercy, refused to give you shortcuts that would cost you depth later. He withheld certain experiences not because you weren't ready to receive love, but because you weren't yet ready to protect it. Love that is not protected becomes pressure. Chosen one. What is approaching will not thrive in chaos. It will thrive in order, in rhythm, in intentionality. That is why you are being taught now how to manage your energy, your boundaries, your emotions, and your time. These are not random life lessons. They are relational training. You may notice that your tolerance for drama has dropped sharply. Things that once entertained you now exhaust you. Conversations that go nowhere feel heavier than silence. That is not boredom. That is discernment growing. And discernment is essential because not every open door is an assignment. God is not calling you to accept everything that comes your way. He is calling you to recognize what aligns with what He has already spoken. When this person enters your life, they will not need to convince you of their worth. Their consistency will speak. Their character will confirm. Their presence will bring clarity, not confusion. Chosen one. I want to share something personal here because this part matters. There was a time when I believed love had to feel intense to be real. If my emotions weren't stirred, I assumed something was missing. But over time, God taught me that peace is not boring. Peace is protective. Peace allows growth. Peace makes room for vision. And what God sends will come wrapped in peace. That peace will not erase passion. It will anchor it. It will not dull joy. It will deepen it. It will not silence laughter. It will stabilize it. You will feel safe enough to be honest, not strategic. Open, not guarded. Present, not performing. Chosen one. This alignment will also confront parts of you that still operate out of survival rather than trust. Old habits of self-protection may try to surface. The instinct to overanalyze, the urge to anticipate disappointment before it arrives. These responses are understandable. They were learned in seasons where you had to be strong alone. But this is not that season. God is inviting you to practice a new posture, one that is alert but not armored, wise but not walled off, faithful but not fearful, This does not mean ignoring red flags. It means not projecting old wounds onto new grace. You are allowed to receive without bracing for loss. Chosen. One another important truth is this: the person God is sending will not be impressed by your performance. They will be moved by your authenticity. They will not require you to be flawless. They will value your faithfulness. They will not compete with your calling. They will celebrate it. And just as important, you will not be tempted to shrink around them. This is alignment of equal footing, not hierarchy. Mutual honor, not imbalance. Shared mission, not silent rivalry. When God joins two people, He does not create competition. He creates cooperation. This union is designed to multiply, not divide. You may already sense a shift in how you view partnership. Less about being completed, more about being commissioned. Less about chemistry, more about covenant. That shift is not accidental. It is preparation for something that carries weight beyond personal fulfillment. Chosen one. This connection is tied to legacy. Not just what you build together, but what you break. Cycles of fear, patterns of lack, generational habits that no longer belong in your future. When God brings two aligned people together, He often uses that union to reset standards for those who come after. That is why the pressure has been intense. That is why the pruning has been thorough. You were not being singled out. You were being set apart. And now, as this season turns, you may feel a strange mixture of anticipation and calm, excitement without anxiety, hope without restlessness. That is a sign that your spirit recognizes what your eyes have not yet seen. Trust that recognition. Chosen one, do not rush the reveal. Do not force the manifestation. Continue to live in alignment, not anticipation. Continue to steward what is in front of you, not chase what is ahead of you. God brings things into our lives at the moment we are able to receive them without losing ourselves. You are closer than you think. What is coming will not require you to abandon who you are. It will require you to stand fully in it. And when this alignment arrives, you will not ask, "Is this too good to be true?" You will say quietly and confidently, "This is what peace feels like." Stay grounded, stay open, stay faithful, because this chapter is not being written by emotion. It is being authored by God. Chosen one. As you move closer to this moment of convergence, God is also recalibrating how you see yourself. This is subtle, but it is essential. Before alignment shows up in your life, identity must settle in your spirit. Otherwise, you might misinterpret what arrives or mishandle what is meant to last. You are not being prepared to impress someone. You are being prepared to steward something sacred. There is a quiet confidence God is forming in you now. Not arrogance, not self-reliance, but a grounded assurance that you know who you are, whose you are, and what you are called to carry. This confidence does not shout, it does not rush, it does not compete, it stands. In earlier seasons, you may have measured your worth by how quickly things moved, how strongly you were pursued, or how much attention you received. But God has been dismantling that framework. He has been teaching you that speed is not proof, and attention is not affirmation. Consistency is, character is, alignment is. Chosen one. When the right connection approaches, it will not awaken insecurity. It will quiet it. You will not feel the urge to compare yourself to others or to versions of yourself from the past. You will feel settled, present, enough. This is important because insecurity distorts discernment. It causes people to cling where they should stand, to settle where they should wait, and to chase what was never assigned to them. God has been healing that in you. And healing often looks like solitude. There were moments when being alone felt heavier than it should have. when quiet amplified questions, when stillness forced you to confront thoughts you had been avoiding. But those moments were not empty. They were clarifying. God was stripping away false narratives you unknowingly carried, ideas about love, worth, and timing that did not come from Him. Chosen one, you are no longer operating from lack. You are operating from alignment. That shift changes everything. When you operate from lack, you fear losing what you have. When you operate from alignment, you trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. That trust creates patience. It creates discernment. It creates peace. This is why you no longer feel drawn to what once tempted you. Old patterns feel foreign now. Old dynamics feel exhausting. You are not broken for feeling that way. You are healed enough to notice the difference. And here is something you need to hear clearly. The one God is sending is not intimidated by your depth. They are not threatened by your devotion. They are not unsettled by your boundaries. In fact, those are the very things that will draw them closer. They will recognize your discipline not as rigidity, but as reverence. Your consistency not as predictability, but as trustworthiness. Your stillness not as passivity, but as strength under control. Chosen one, this connection will not require you to negotiate your faith or downplay your convictions. You will not have to choose between being spiritual and being relational. God does not divide what He designed to work together. What He joins, He equips. There is also a practical side to this preparation that may not feel spiritual at first glance. God has been teaching you how to manage your life responsibly, your time, your finances, your emotional energy. These are not distractions from spirituality. They are expressions of stewardship. Alignment thrives where stewardship exists. When two people come together in purpose, disorder becomes friction. But when order is present, momentum follows. That is why God has been inviting you to clean up areas of your life that felt unrelated to love. It was never unrelated. It was foundational. Chosen one, you are becoming someone who can host peace, not just experience it. That means creating space for it to live, in your thoughts, in your habits, in your environment. Peace is not just a feeling, it is a culture, and the culture you build now will shape what you sustain later. You may also notice a heightened sensitivity to your inner world. You are more aware of what drains you and what restores you, more conscious of what aligns with your values and what quietly erodes them. This awareness is not making you fragile, it is making you wise. God is sharpening your ability to listen, because when the moment arrives, it will not announce itself with spectacle. It will feel natural, familiar, right. And if you are not attuned to peace, you could overlook it in favor of noise. Chosen one, do not underestimate how often God answers prayers quietly. The one coming toward you will not rush your process. They will respect it. They will not push you to be someone else. They will honor who you already are. Their presence will not disrupt your rhythm with God. It will support it. And just as important, you will feel free to be honest about fears, about hopes, about the parts of you that are still growing. There will be no pressure to present a polished version of yourself. Growth will be welcomed, not hidden. This is not a connection built on illusion. It is built on truth. Chosen one, I want you to release one more thing in this season: the fear that you are somehow late, that you missed your window, that others passed you by while you waited. That lie has lingered quietly, and it must go. God does not run out of time. He redeems it. What you perceive as delay was alignment waiting for readiness. Not just yours, but theirs. Both of you needed seasons you did not understand at the time. Both of you needed refinement you did not request. and both of you are now stepping into a moment that required everything that came before it. You did not miss it. You were protected until it was right. Chosen one, continue to walk forward with humility and expectation, not anxiety. Do not scan the horizon in panic. Live fully where you are. Steward what is in your hands. Remain faithful in small things. That posture matters more than you realize, because when this alignment manifests, it will not interrupt your life. It will integrate into it, seamlessly, purposefully, peacefully, and you will know without striving, without doubt, without fear, that this is not just something you wanted. This is something heaven prepared. Chosen one. As this season continues to unfold, God is also reshaping how you understand waiting itself. Waiting is no longer passive for you. It is no longer a pause filled with anxiety or self-questioning. Waiting has become active alignment, a posture of readiness without restlessness, trust without tension. This is a sign of maturity. In earlier seasons, waiting may have felt like holding your breath, afraid to move in case you missed something. But now you are learning how to breathe deeply while you wait, how to live fully without forcing outcomes, how to trust that what is meant for you does not need to be chased. That shift is not small. It is the foundation of what is coming. Chosen one. God is not sending someone into a life that is frozen in anticipation. He is sending someone into a life that is moving in purpose. That is why your focus has been gently redirected. You are less consumed with when and more anchored in who you are becoming. Less obsessed with arrival and more committed to alignment. This is exactly where you need to be. There is a dangerous myth many people believe, and God has been breaking it in you. The myth is that fulfillment begins when someone arrives. But the truth is that fulfillment begins when identity settles. When you know who you are before someone else joins the story, partnership becomes a blessing instead of a burden. Chosen one. You are learning how to carry joy without attachment, hope without dependency, and desire without desperation. That balance is rare, and it is powerful. What is approaching your life does not come to fill emptiness. It comes to expand fullness. That is why God has been intentional about teaching you how to enjoy your life now, how to appreciate quiet moments, how to find meaning in routines, how to steward peace. These are not distractions from destiny. They are evidence that destiny is near. Because when something significant is about to arrive, God often teaches us how to live as if it already has. You may notice that your prayers are changing. They are less frantic, less filled with urgency, more grounded, more surrendered. You are no longer asking God to rush. You are asking Him to lead. That is a sign that trust has replaced fear. Chosen one. The person being prepared for you is also learning how to wait well. They are being shaped in ways you cannot see yet. Just as you have had to unlearn certain patterns, so have they. Just as you have had to release certain expectations, so have they. This alignment is not happening in isolation. It is happening in parallel. And that is why timing matters so much. If either of you arrived too early, the connection would have been fragile. One would have leaned too heavily. The other would have felt pressure to compensate. But God waited until both of you could stand fully on your own. Not independent in pride, but secure in identity. Chosen one. This is not romance built on fantasy. This is partnership built on readiness. That is why when it comes, it will not disrupt your peace. It will confirm it. You will not feel like you are losing control. You will feel like things are finally aligning. The sense of effortlessness you will experience is not because it lacks depth, but because it lacks resistance. God removes resistance before He reveals alignment. You may also be noticing a growing sensitivity to what you allow into your mind and spirit. Certain content no longer sits well with you. Certain conversations feel misaligned. Certain environments drain you faster than before. This is not judgment. This is refinement. Your spirit is becoming more selective because it is being prepared to host something valuable. Chosen one, guard this season carefully, not with fear, but with wisdom. You do not need to announce what God is doing in you to everyone. Some processes are meant to remain private until they are complete. Even Scripture reminds us that there is wisdom in timing, in silence, in discernment. Not everyone needs access to your becoming. Continue to invest in your inner life, your prayer, your rest, your integrity. These things matter more now than ever. They are not small disciplines. They are the scaffolding of what you will soon be building alongside someone else. Chosen one. I want to address one more subtle fear that sometimes surfaces in seasons like this. The fear that when something good finally comes, it might be taken away. That fear often grows in people who have known loss, disappointment, or inconsistency. But hear this clearly: what God sends, He sustains. This does not mean there will never be challenges. It means those challenges will not threaten the foundation. You will not be fighting to hold something together that God has already established. The grace that brings it will be the grace that keeps it. You are not stepping into something fragile. You are stepping into something fortified. That is why God has been strengthening your faith rather than rushing your reward. Faith allows you to hold blessing without fear, without suspicion, without self-sabotage. Chosen one. You are learning how to receive without questioning worthiness, how to enjoy without anticipating loss, how to trust without controlling outcomes. These lessons are not theoretical, they are essential. When this alignment manifests, you will not cling, you will partner, you will not hide, you will show up fully, you will not brace for disappointment, you will expect growth. And growth is what this connection is designed for. Together you will sharpen one another, encourage one another, pray together, build together. Not because you need each other to survive, but because you are better equipped to serve when you are aligned. Chosen one, do not underestimate how much heaven cares about this moment. The prayers that led here were not casual. The process that shaped you was not accidental. The timing that feels slow was intentional. You are not waiting for permission to live. You are being prepared to steward something that carries weight beyond you. So remain steady, remain grateful, remain attentive, because what God is bringing into your life will not arrive to take something from you. It will arrive to multiply what He has already built within you. Chosen one, as this season reaches deeper layers, God is also teaching you how to recognize alignment without idolizing it. This is crucial because even heaven-sent connections must remain submitted to God, not elevated above Him. What is coming is sacred, but it is not meant to replace your devotion. It is meant to strengthen it. God is not removing Himself from the center of your life. He is reinforcing His place in it. There was a time when you may have thought that once the right person arrived, the ache would disappear completely, the questions would stop, and the journey would finally feel complete. But God has been gently correcting that expectation, not to disappoint you, but to protect you. Because anything placed in the position only God can occupy eventually collapses under that weight. Chosen one. This alignment will be beautiful precisely because it will not be worshipped. It will be honored, stewarded, and protected, but not idolized. That distinction will keep it healthy. You are being taught how to love without losing reverence for God, how to connect deeply without disconnecting spiritually, how to share life without surrendering your center. These lessons are subtle, but they are powerful. You may notice now that your prayers are less focused on outcomes and more focused on posture. You are not begging God to send something. You are asking Him to prepare you to receive what He already knows is coming. That is a sign of trust. That is a sign of growth. Chosen one, the one God is sending, will not compete with your prayer life. They will respect it. They will not feel threatened by your solitude with God. They will understand it. They will not try to fill every space. They will honor the spaces where you listen. This matters more than you realize, because relationships that survive long-term are not built on constant closeness alone, but on mutual respect for sacred distance, the ability to be together without possession, the ability to be apart without fear. God is training you for that kind of maturity. There may be moments now where you feel a strange tension between excitement and restraint. Part of you senses that something is approaching. Another part of you feels calm, almost neutral. That balance is intentional. God does not want you intoxicated by anticipation. He wants you grounded in faith. Chosen one. Anticipation without grounding leads to anxiety. Grounding without expectation leads to stagnation. But when the two are held together, alignment flows naturally. You are learning how to hold both. I want to speak honestly here because this part is rarely addressed. When something long awaited finally draws near, it often exposes hidden fears. Not fears of loss, but fears of responsibility. The fear of being seen, the fear of being fully known, the fear of carrying something that actually matters. You are not afraid because you are weak. You are cautious because you understand weight now. What is coming will require consistency, presence, intentionality, and God has been preparing you not just to receive, but to sustain. That is why He has been refining your habits, your communication, your patience, and your emotional awareness. Chosen one, you are becoming someone who can handle blessing without neglecting discipline. This alignment will invite growth, not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that stretches you. You will be asked to show up when it would be easier to withdraw, to speak when silence feels safer, to forgive when pride wants distance. These are not signs of strain, they are signs of depth. And here is the truth many people miss. God does not bring people together to make life easier. He brings them together to make life more meaningful. Ease fades, meaning endures. Chosen one. The person approaching your life is not perfect, neither are you. But what will be different is this: both of you will be committed to growth, not comfort, to truth, not avoidance, to prayer, not performance. That shared commitment will carry you through moments when emotion fluctuates, because emotion always fluctuates, but alignment remains. You may also begin to notice that God is asking you to clean up internal spaces you have avoided. Old resentments, quiet disappointments, lingering assumptions about how things will go wrong. This is not condemnation. This is preparation. You cannot carry something new while gripping what no longer belongs to you. Chosen one, let those things go gently, not with force, but with trust. You do not need to rehearse old pain to prove you have learned from it. You do not need to protect yourself from joy to remain wise. Wisdom does not harden, it clarifies. God is inviting you to approach what is coming with open hands, not clenched fists. There is also something else happening now that you may not have words for yet. Your sense of purpose is becoming more defined, less scattered, less reactive. You are beginning to see your life not as a series of disconnected events, but as a story with direction. That clarity will matter when this alignment enters your life, because purpose-centered connections do not orbit around emotion alone. They orbit around mission, shared values, shared vision, shared surrender to God's leading. Chosen one, you are being prepared for that level of partnership. This is not about finding someone who fits into your life as it is. It is about walking alongside someone as God expands both of your lives. Expansion requires humility. It requires adaptability. It requires trust. And God has been building those qualities in you quietly. So do not be surprised if even now you feel more grounded than excited, more peaceful than impatient, more aware than eager. That is not lack of desire. That is readiness. Desire rooted in peace lasts longer than desire fueled by urgency. Chosen one, continue to honor God in small things. Continue to choose integrity when no one is watching. Continue to speak truth kindly. Continue to guard your heart without closing it, because what is coming will not demand a new version of you. It will meet you as you are becoming, and when it arrives, you will not feel like your life is finally starting. You will feel like it is finally aligning. This is not an ending. This is integration, and heaven is steady in what it is doing. Chosen one, there is a holy shift happening now, and it is not loud, but it is unmistakable. God is transitioning you from preparation into participation, from observing what he can do into walking with him as he does it. This is where many people hesitate, not because they lack faith, but because faith is about to require movement. You are not being asked to rush, you are being asked to respond. For a long time, obedience looked like restraint, like waiting, like saying no. But in this season, obedience may begin to look like openness, availability, courage, and that can feel unfamiliar. You were trained to protect what God was building in you, and rightly so. But now God is inviting you to trust that what he built is strong enough to engage the world without being compromised. Chosen one, you are not stepping out fragile. You are stepping out fortified. This is important because when alignment approaches, there is often a temptation to retreat into overthinking, to analyze every detail, to question every nudge, to wonder if you are imagining things. But discernment does not come from constant analysis. It comes from attunement, from knowing the voice of God so well that you recognize his leading without needing constant confirmation. You are growing in that attunement. You may find that opportunities are beginning to surface in subtle ways. Invitations that feel timely, conversations that feel purposeful, doors that open without force. None of this is accidental. God often tests readiness through small steps before revealing larger ones. Do not overlook those moments. Chosen one alignment does not always arrive fully formed. Sometimes it begins as a conversation, a collaboration, a shared interest, a mutual recognition of values. And because of past experiences, you might be tempted to either over-spiritualize or undervalue these beginnings. Avoid both extremes. Not everything needs to be rushed into meaning, and not everything meaningful arrives dramatically. God is teaching you how to walk with wisdom, not suspicion, with curiosity, not control. You are allowed to be present without projecting outcomes. This season also requires discernment regarding voices. As God elevates you into deeper alignment, not everyone will understand what is unfolding. Some may question your pace, others may project their fears onto your decisions. A few may even mistake your peace for passivity. But chosen one, peace is not passivity. It is confidence without noise. You are learning how to move without explaining every step, how to trust God without seeking consensus, how to listen to counsel without surrendering conviction. That balance matters now. There may also be moments when old insecurities attempt to resurface. Questions like, am I really ready? Or what if I misread this? Or what if this doesn't work? These questions are not signs of doubt. They are signs that you understand responsibility. But responsibility does not require paralysis. God does not expect you to foresee everything. He expects you to trust Him through everything. You are not required to know the outcome before you take the step. You are required to remain aligned while you take it. Chosen one. Something else is being activated in you now, courage without bravado. A quiet willingness to show up honestly, to be seen without performing, to engage without hiding. This is not about vulnerability for its own sake. It is about authenticity anchored in identity. You are no longer seeking approval, you are seeking alignment. That shift changes how you relate to people. You will notice that you are less interested in being impressive and more interested in being present. Less concerned with appearances and more focused on substance. This is maturity, and maturity attracts what can last. Chosen one. The one approaching your life will recognize this posture. They will not be drawn to a mask. They will be drawn to your integrity. They will not pursue your image. They will respect your values. And just as importantly, you will feel free to evaluate without fear, to observe without suspicion, to ask questions without anxiety. Discernment will not feel heavy. It will feel natural. You are no longer afraid of being alone, so you will not settle out of fear. This is where freedom shows itself. Chosen one. God is also expanding your capacity to carry joy without guilt. In past seasons, happiness may have felt fragile, like something that could disappear at any moment. But now you are learning how to let joy exist without bracing for loss. Joy is no longer a threat, it is a fruit. That shift allows you to engage with life more fully, to laugh without apology, to hope without restraint, to anticipate good without suspicion. And that posture is magnetic. The alignment coming toward you is not just responding to your prayers, it is responding to your posture, to the way you have chosen faith over fear, integrity over impulse, trust over control. Heaven watches posture. Chosen one, as you move forward, remember this: you are not responsible for orchestrating outcomes. You are responsible for maintaining alignment. God handles the timing. God handles the convergence. God handles the details you cannot see. Your role is to stay available. Availability does not mean saying yes to everything. It means saying yes to what aligns with God's leading, even when it stretches you slightly, even when it requires you to move without complete clarity. Faith has always worked this way. You may not have the full picture yet, but you have enough light for the next step, and that is all God asks for. Chosen one, do not let fear masquerade as wisdom. Wisdom listens, fear retreats. Wisdom discerns, fear delays. You have been given wisdom. Use it gently, use it confidently. What is approaching your life does not require you to abandon discernment. It requires you to trust that discernment has been trained, that your spirit is capable of recognizing peace, that your heart is capable of receiving good. You are not who you were, and the season ahead will not ask you to be someone else. It will invite you to be fully who God has been forming all along. Stay present, stay prayerful, stay open, because alignment is no longer just something you sense. It is something you are about to step into. Chosen one, as this alignment draws near God, is also inviting you into a deeper trust with timing itself. Not the kind of patience that grits its teeth and endures, but the kind that rests because it knows who is in control. This is a different posture than you've known before. It is not passive waiting, it is active surrender. Surrender does not mean disengaging from life. It means releasing the need to manage outcomes. For a long time, your vigilance protected you. Your awareness kept you safe. Your discernment kept you from repeating cycles that once drained you. But now God is teaching you how to let vigilance give way to confidence, how to let discernment mature into trust. Not blind trust in people, but anchored trust in Him. Chosen one. There is a freedom that comes when you no longer feel responsible for preventing disappointment at all costs. That burden was never yours to carry. God does not ask you to guard your future alone. He asks you to walk with Him as He guards it. This shift may feel unfamiliar. When you've learned to survive by anticipating loss, peace can feel almost suspicious at first. But peace is not an illusion, it is confirmation. What God brings will not require constant monitoring to keep it intact. There is also a refinement happening in how you hear God. His voice has become quieter, not because He is distant, but because you are closer. When intimacy increases, volume decreases. He does not need to shout to get your attention anymore. A nudge is enough. A pause is enough. A gentle redirection is enough. Chosen one, honor that stillness. It is where clarity lives. As you become more attuned, you may notice that God is asking you to simplify, to let go of excess commitments, to streamline your focus, to create margin in your life. This is not about withdrawal, it is about availability. What is coming will need room to breathe. You cannot host something new in a life already overcrowded with noise. This is why God has been teaching you how to say no without guilt, how to rest without explanation, how to protect your time without apology. These are not selfish habits, they are sacred boundaries. Chosen one, the person approaching your life will not resent these boundaries. They will respect them. In fact, they will likely have similar ones of their own. Alignment recognizes alignment. When two people have learned to honor their inner life, they create space for connection that is intentional rather than consuming. Togetherness becomes a choice, not a demand. This is the kind of union God sustains. There may be moments now where you feel an urge to get ready in practical ways, to clean up certain areas, to reorganize, to create order where there was once clutter. Do not dismiss these impulses. They are often outward expressions of inner preparation. Preparation is not about perfection. It is about intentionality. Chosen one, you are not being asked to create a flawless life. You are being invited to cultivate an honest one where peace has room, where prayer has priority, where rest is honored, where growth is welcomed. Because what is coming will not fit into chaos. God is not sending something fragile that needs constant managing. He is sending something sturdy that flourishes in order. Another thing to notice in this season is how God is reshaping your expectations. You are learning to desire depth over drama, longevity over intensity, consistency over chemistry. These shifts may feel subtle, but they are powerful. You are no longer drawn to what excites temporarily. You are drawn to what sustains. Chosen one. This is discernment matured by experience. There was a time when you might have equated uncertainty with mystery or unpredictability with passion, but now you know better. Stability is not boring, it is fertile ground. Peace does not dull love, it allows it to grow roots, and roots matter. Because when storms come, surface level connections are the first to collapse. But what God builds endures pressure. You are being prepared not just for arrival, but for longevity. This is why God has been careful with your heart, why He did not allow certain connections to progress even when they seemed promising, why he interrupted situations that looked good on the surface but lacked alignment underneath. Protection often feels like disappointment in the moment, but hindsight reveals mercy. Chosen one. As this chapter approaches, you may also notice an increase in gratitude, not forced gratitude but genuine appreciation. You find yourself thankful for small things, quiet moments, ordinary days, simple joys. This is not complacency, it is contentment, and contentment is powerful. Contentment does not mean you stop desiring. It means desire no longer controls you. It means you can want something deeply without being ruled by its absence. This posture will keep you free, because when alignment arrives, you will not grab it in fear. You will receive it with open hands. You will not cling. You will partner. Chosen one partnership is the theme of what is coming, not dependence, not rescue, partnership. Two people choosing to walk together because they are aligned, not because they are afraid to be alone. This is why God has been healing your fear of solitude. Solitude was never meant to be your prison. It was meant to be your training ground. You learned how to listen there, how to pray there, how to stand there. Now you will not lose yourself when connection arrives. There may still be moments of hesitation, moments when you wonder if you are truly ready, moments when you feel the weight of what is ahead. That is normal. Readiness does not mean the absence of nervousness. It means the presence of trust. Trust that God knows what He is doing. Chosen one, you do not need to manufacture confidence. You do not need to rush growth. You do not need to prove anything. The preparation you have already walked through speaks for itself. Heaven has seen your consistency. What is coming is not a test of your worth. It is a confirmation of your alignment. So continue to walk gently. Continue to listen closely. Continue to honor the process. Because the convergence you have been sensing is not fading. It is clarifying. And soon, what has been forming quietly will stand clearly before you, not as a surprise, but as a recognition. You will know it by the peace that surrounds it, and you will be ready to receive it without fear. Chosen one. This is where everything you have walked through begins to make sense. Not all at once and not in a dramatic flash, but with a deep inner knowing that settles into your bones. The confusion lifts, the questions quiet, and what once felt fragmented now starts to align into a clear direction. This is the moment where preparation gives way to embodiment. You are no longer preparing for what might come. You are becoming someone who can carry what is coming. That distinction matters, because what God is bringing into your life is not just an event, a person, or a change in circumstance. It is a responsibility, a calling, a shared assignment that requires steadiness, humility, and faithfulness. And the reason God took His time with you is because speed produces excitement, but depth produces endurance. You were not built for a moment. You were built for legacy. Chosen one, when this alignment manifests fully, it will not feel like chaos resolving. It will feel like peace expanding. Your life will not suddenly become perfect, but it will become coherent. Things will begin to support each other instead of competing with each other. Your faith, your work, your relationships, your rest, they will start to move in the same direction. That is alignment. You may still face challenges. There will still be growth. There will still be moments that stretch you. But what will be different is this: you will not feel like you are fighting against yourself anymore. You will not feel pulled in opposing directions. Your spirit will be unified, and unity brings strength. Chosen one, the one God is bringing into your life, will not replace your relationship with God. They will reinforce it. You will find that prayer becomes more natural, not more difficult. Worship becomes deeper, not distracted. Obedience becomes shared, not isolated. This is not because the person is perfect. It is because the alignment is God-centered. You will not have to convince them of your values. You will not have to explain why faith matters to you. You will not have to defend your convictions. They will already understand the language of surrender, even if they speak it differently. There will be mutual honor, and in that honor, growth will flourish. Chosen one, I want to speak directly to the fear that sometimes hides beneath anticipation. The fear that when something good finally arrives, it will demand more than you can give. The fear that you might fail, that you might disappoint, that you might not measure up. That fear is understandable, but it is not prophetic. God does not bring you into alignment to expose your inadequacy. He brings you into alignment to reveal His sufficiency. You are not being trusted because you are flawless. You are being trusted because you are surrendered. Surrender carries grace, and grace is what sustains what God begins. Chosen one, you will not have to hold this future together by your own strength. You will not have to perform to keep it intact. The same hand that orchestrated the meeting will sustain the journey. The same wisdom that guided you through waiting will guide you through building. You are not stepping into something fragile. You are stepping into something fortified by prayer, patience, and process. That is why when this chapter opens fully, you will feel calm instead of frantic, ready instead of rushed, grounded instead of overwhelmed. You will recognize that the peace you feel is not circumstantial. It is spiritual. Peace will be the confirmation. Chosen one, as you move forward, do not underestimate the power of gratitude. Gratitude anchors blessing. It keeps your heart soft and your perspective clear. Continue to thank God, not just for what He is bringing, but for what He has already done in you. Thank Him for the restraint that saved you. Thank Him for the delays that protected you. Thank Him for the solitude that strengthened you. Those seasons were not empty. They were sacred. And now, as the season shifts, do not abandon the practices that sustained you. Keep praying, keep listening, keep resting, keep honoring God in private as much as you will in public. What you maintain in secret determines what you can sustain in the open. Chosen one, this is not the end of your becoming. It is the beginning of your building. Building something that lasts requires intention. It requires humility. It requires consistency. But you are not walking into this unprepared. You are walking into it refined. You have learned how to wait without bitterness, how to hope without desperation, how to stand without needing constant affirmation. Those lessons are rare, and now they are about to bear fruit. Chosen one, when the moment comes, you will not need to ask, "Is this from God?" The peace will answer before your mouth forms the question. The alignment will feel familiar, not because you have lived it before, but because your spirit has been trained to recognize it. Recognition will replace uncertainty. So step forward without fear, not recklessly but confidently, not in haste but in trust. You are not chasing something that might happen. You are walking into what has already been prepared. Heaven has done its part. You have done your part. Now remain faithful as the story unfolds, because this was never about finding something you were missing. It was about becoming someone who could carry what God always intended to give. Chosen one, as this message comes to a close, rest in the reverence of what has been released over your life. This is not a fading moment, and this is not emotional inspiration. This is confirmation. Heaven has already moved, and you are standing in your exact Kairos moment, your divinely appointed time where preparation meets promise and faith meets fulfillment. Anointed one, the transfer is already in motion. What God has aligned cannot be reversed, delayed, or denied. You are not waiting for the shift. You are standing inside it. Stay faithful, stay aligned, stay tender to the flow of the anointing, because what is approaching you carries purpose, peace, and divine acceleration. I speak blessing over your steps, clarity over your decisions, and supernatural favor over everything your hands touch. May your spirit remain sensitive, your heart remain grateful, and your eyes remain fixed on what God is unfolding. What is coming will not arrive with confusion, but with peace that settles your soul and confirms your calling. Chosen one. If this word bore witness in your spirit, let your agreement be sacred. You may whisper it, type it, or simply carry it quietly, but let heaven see your yes. Share this word only if you feel led, remain connected if your spirit is drawn, and walk forward with expectancy. You are chosen, you are covered, and you are closer than you think. Stay rooted, stay faithful. Your promise is not coming, it is already in motion.